Hello, welcome back. And today I'm really excited to introduce the newest project that I'm going to be working on, Canine Tycoon. So, let me go down a quick rundown of what the game is and what I've been working on so far. So, the quick rundown is this is a dog breeding tycoon game where you'll have a certain number of starting dogs that you can choose from. They will have certain traits, that be physical traits, and health traits, and behavioral traits. And basically, the point of the game is you're going to have customers that want certain traits in certain dogs, and it is your goal to breed these dogs to fit the customer's request. So, I started off just by 3D modeling some dogs, and I really think if you've seen any of my wildlife devlogs that my 3D modeling skills have gotten infinitely better. Like, I've learned Blender in a way that I never thought was possible. I genuinely thought I'd never be able to learn Blender this well. And that's not to say that I'm perfect now or anything like that. Like, I still have so much to learn. But I'm really happy with how these dogs turned out, and I think you guys will agree with me that this is way better work than I've done in the past. So right now I'm working on a Great Dane. That's going to be one of the starting dogs. In the past, before I made this Great Dane, I made a little Chihuahua, but I forgot to record that. But the Chihuahua is finished, and you'll see it in-game here at the end of the devlog. I really do like the way the Chihuahua turned out. The Chihuahua is obviously significantly smaller, so it was way less time consuming to make and animate. But coloring it and getting the coloring just right on the Chihuahua is what took a lot of time. And it's still not exactly the way I want it, but the good thing is since there's going to be multiple different color variations for each dog, I'll really get to fine tune my favorite coloring for each dog and really just kind of flesh that out. So here is the Great Dane. I'm working on the legs right now, and the legs are really important to get just right because you have to attach the armatures to them in order to animate the character. So if the leg is not exactly symmetrical on each side, it'll really throw you some errors when you're trying to animate it. So yeah, I'm just really being careful here to make sure that I'm following the image almost exactly. There's a little bit of leeway just because this is going to be more of a low poly game. I'm not going for realism just because I think that's unrealistic for me to get at this point. So I basically finished the Great Dane, and you'll see him in game here towards the end. So I started working on another starting dog, the Dalmatian. So, the Dalmatian I chose to be a starting dog mostly to show off the color variation traits. Because each dog I want to have, or each starting dog rather, I want to have focus on a specific trait. For instance, the Chihuahua and the Great Dane will kind of focus on the size aspect of each dog. And you'll be able to breed dogs with Chihuahuas if you want a smaller breed, or breed them with Great Danes if you want a larger dog. And the same goes with the Dalmatian. If you want a certain coloring, like spots on your dog, it'd be a really good idea to breed your dog with a Dalmatian. So for instance, let's say the customer wants a active dog that's very healthy, it has spots, and it's really small. So, as the dog breeder, you would take a Dalmatian, maybe a Labrador Retriever, and a Chihuahua, and intermix and interbreed the different offspring from these dogs to create the designer dog, essentially, for each customer. And throughout the game, in order to keep with humane breeding practices, because a big point in the game is that I want the player to be able to live the life of a dog breeder, and that also takes into account being an ethical dog breeder. I don't want the game to turn into a puppy mill simulator. That's not really what I'm going for. I'm really going for the experience of being the most ethical and really raising the dogs in a way that is humane. So a big goal in the game is to have something like a humanity bar that tracks the way that you're raising the animals, making sure that you're not overbreeding the females, making sure that you're taking good care of the animals while they're in your care, and just stuff like that to make sure that the breeding practices remain humane and the game really doesn't turn into something that I don't want it to be. Now, that being said, I'm really happy with the idea. I really think this idea for the game, there have been Tycoon games in the past, but I've done my research. There is no dog breeding Tycoon game. So this is a really original idea, and I'm having so much fun making it. Just spending my days 3D modeling is such a blast. I love every minute of it. And right here is the Dalmatian with its coloring. Now the coloring needs some work. I was using Vertex paint, so it's not perfect, but I'll work on it. So here is kind of the rough sketch of what I've done in Unity so far. I've imported some assets from the asset store, like this house and the trees, but I'd like to go back and 3D model something else. But right here I have the Chihuahua and the Great Dane walking around, animated and everything. Right now they're clipping into each other, but in the final game, obviously they won't be able to do that. I just need to add some type of collider on each dog. But yeah, this is Canine Tycoon. This is my next project, and the project that I'm going to be focusing on very heavily in the next couple of months. And I'm really excited to share this devlog with you guys. And I really hope you guys give me some support on this, because I'm targeting a mobile audience for this game, so marketing is going to be huge. So I really need to rely on you guys for the help. So thank you so much. I really hope you enjoy, and leave me your feedback in the comments.